I would like to thank Jamal Ross for sending me this article, and it involves, as you can see, Diddy and the woman on the right. Now, many of you may not know who that is. I'm going to be honest, I didn't know who she was before I pulled up this article. But her name is Roma Khanna, and she is the CEO of Revolt, the Revolt Network, Revolt TV, whatever you want to call it, which is owned by Diddy. Now, this woman is under hot fire right now. And yeah, I guess you could say Diddy is going to be joining her very soon. And you'll hear why in a second. But this Roma Khanna chick, who I can't even white identify her as, but she definitely has a white woman's mindset. She came out and said that black women intimidate her. To which I would like to know, how do black women intimidate her? She just made a blanket statement. I'm gonna read this this piece that came from a former employee who used to work for Revolt. It said that, from a place of genuine concern on behalf of myself as a young educated black woman, for the people currently employed at Revolt who are fearful of losing their jobs in an attempt to preserve the reputation and perception of this company. In a bombshell letter, she alleged, I witnessed Roma say that black women intimidate her, and that at a May brainstorming session for the Revolt Music Conference, when it was suggested that rapper Meek Mill host talk on prison reform, Roma responded, maybe the conversation isn't about prison reform. Maybe it's about how to stay out of jail, black boy. The memo adds, in my own discomfort, I spoke up, saying that her comment was not only insulting but would also be disrespectful to Meek as he's not a boy. She then proceeded to propose, maybe that's it. Maybe it's a conversation on how not to be black. An insider told us when we heard about this 2.5 weeks ago, the minute that letter was received, it was handled immediately and sent to an outside source to investigate. The letter also alleged Roma let 30% of the Revolt staff go for restructuring, and 99% of those are African American. Now, here's the part where Diddy is going to come under fire himself, because this woman said all of this. She's doing restructuring and let go most of the black employees. Mind you, a network founded by a black man and was already hired mostly black people. See, this is the thing right here. Diddy should not have put someone like her in a position as CEO, which is at the top, and she's only below Diddy. Like he's above everything, but he's right below her because he owns the network. She's just over the day-to-day operations. Whatever he doesn't handle, she does. He messed up hiring her. Now, the messed up part about this is that Diddy came to her defense after these comments that she made. Not the best idea. It says, the music mogul told us, this story is inaccurate. We are a black-owned, operated network, and we have zero-tolerance policy for discrimination of any kind. Revolt is led by a woman of color who is expected to uphold the same standards that I hold for all of my companies. Hold on. He said this story is inaccurate. We are a black-owned and operated network, and we have a zero-tolerance policy for discrimination. This woman right here is not black, Diddy. I didn't know if you noticed that, but she's not black, and I doubt that she identifies herself as such. Let me read that again. Black-owned and operated network. And he identified her as a woman of color, which means she's not black. Otherwise, he would have said that she was black. See, now Diddy gonna come under fire again, not only because he's defending this woman, but because you're gonna have a lot of people saying, well, if it's a black-owned company, why didn't you, if you wanted to use a woman, why didn't you put a black woman in the position of as CEO? Why did you go and get her? He says, after an extensive review led by outside counsel, there were no findings of deliberate misconduct. At this time, Roma Khanna will remain as CEO of Revolt. He added of the cuts, any suggestion that any of the company of mine negatively targets African Americans is absurd and offensive. It says, we're inclined to believe the employees' versions of events. This certainly wouldn't be the first instance where a person of color held anti-black views. The proof is in them papers. All they got to do is pull them papers up and see who got fired, and that's all. And that'll be all she wrote. But that last part of the article is absolutely true. It won't be the first time you had somebody who was a quote-unquote person of color have anti-black views. But it's messed up when you have someone like Diddy, who was a black man himself, actually come to her defense. When you have your employees coming to you saying these things and then just basically saying that they're wrong and she's right. But see, that's why a lot of people nowadays, all you got to do is when you in those board meetings, sometimes it might be a risk, but start recording some of these meetings. Just make sure it doesn't look obvious. Because now you need to have proof of stuff like this. Because hearsay is not, in this day and age, is not really going to fly in most situations. So y'all need to start secretly, quote unquote, recording this kind of stuff. That way you're backed up by actual evidence and you can save your own ass at the same time. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. If you haven't done so already, you can donate to my PayPal and check out my Patreon. The links will be down in the description. I'll talk to you in the next one.